Hi there. It's so wonderful to be with you once again today. It's Mishka, and of course, we are busy with our I Am series. Yes, and it's been quite a journey. Can you believe it? It's our fifth week this week already of recordings, and isn't that amazing? And everybody that's been responding to our program, I just want to thank you for that. I want to thank you for your participation. And today, my heart is just to recap a little bit of where we've been, because you might be somebody new the first time that you're watching. That in that case, I just want to remind you, you can actually go and watch all the other episodes from 1 to 4 on mishka.com. And you can do that in the leisure of your own time. It's on our website. And then obviously today I'd like to bring it together and talk to you a little bit about what about the I am and parenting. But before I get there, let's have a look at where we've been in the last couple of weeks. What is the I am? What am I talking about? If you've just joined, you might be wondering, what is she talking about? You see, it's so important that we know who the I am is that's inside of us. And from the beginning, I spoke about us getting born, that perfect baby. Can you remember? And that person that is born with a wholeness inside of us, and that purpose. The interesting thing is, that everybody, I can still not understand it, I don't know about you, but this whole thing about fingerprints that are not the same, that we all have different fingerprints. I mean, how many people have ever walked the earth? If we only think about how many are on the earth right now, and then how many has died. So it's been quite a number of people that's been on the earth, and nobody has got the same fingerprint. And I do believe that everybody has got a different purpose as well. Everybody has got that amazing purpose inside of us. And when we try to clone it or copycat somebody else, yes, we can learn from other people and we get mentorship and we get coaching. But there is that something unique in every one of us. It speaks to us. Doesn't it speak to you? It speaks to me. The fact that I can actually look in nature, and when I go in nature, I will see duplication. I will see a flower, the flowers look the same. Or I can go to one garden and there's a certain element that would be the same in the other gardens. But when it comes to us, you and I, and all of us, we are so unique. It tells a story. And why I'm sharing my story with you is because I'd actually want you to start to share your story and to start to think, what is my story? And if we don't know who we are, remember I said before that who I am is not what I do. So if I still think about, if people ask me, who are you? And I think about, mother, businesswoman, all those things, then I still don't know who I am. Who is Mishka? Who are you? So once again, bring it back to that finger, that imprint. That is unique. That eyes, everything about you is totally unique. There's just absolutely nobody else that looks like you. And it's never ever before looked like you and I. That tells a story. It says to me that why would you be here unless that purpose inside of you is also unique? Why would there be so many duplicated purposes? No, I do believe that if everybody can find out who we are and what we've been created for and what we are here to do, that we will make such a difference and we will take so much into this earth and into everything that's around us that will bring out things that nobody has ever been aware of. I think there's so much more still. We're always fighting against the water crisis, or we think that some things are going to go wrong, or, the earth's not going to last. And it's been going for so long. I do believe that inside of us there's still so much. That more that's got to come out, more that's got to be shown out there, beauty that's got to come out of us, such treasure. Now, when we look at that I am factor, that is the thing that is going to be the same since the day that I was born, because our circumstances, we said before, can now change, it can differ, and all of us may grow up in different circumstances, and we go through different things. And previously, I said to you, if we're battling to find out who we are, we will make mistakes in our decisions and in our choices. So when you and I can find out who I am, then every decision will become so much easier, because it will align with exactly who we are. That's not easy. We also said that. Now, as a parent, I'd like to talk to you today. This is something today about people that might be sitting there. You may be a parent already. You may be one in future. But a parent plays such a tremendous role in our lives. And we're going to play such a tremendous role in our children's lives. And that's what we do. Because a parent, obviously, we all come through this whole thing. If you've been there and you don't know who you are, and we're still finding out who we are, so often we would like to imprint something on our children that we think they should be. It's very difficult, I know. Where do we find the fine line? Because I want you to look into the eyes of your child today, if you have a child. And I just want you to reconsider a couple of things and think before you say anything. Why does he or she look exactly the way they do? Perfect. Beautiful. Look at the eye color. Look at the face. It's different, no? From anybody else. If you look at your child and I look at my child, you know what's happened so often is we put ourselves into a system that looks the same everywhere. And everybody does the same, and everybody is at this level at that age, and at this level at that age. And we've got these expectations of our children that is sometimes so unfair, because exactly that child that's yours today is a treasure. No matter where they're at, they may not be at the same level as the other person, or they may have a different gift, which in this world, perhaps sometimes people think it's not important. You know, sometimes we are very prejudiced about certain things. And perhaps we, put more value on money. We put more value on somebody that's well-spoken. Or we put more value on things that impress other people. So often we have children, it's easy. They excel and they're doing so well. And maybe they're even charismatic. But then we have the silent one. And we have the one that might be hiding. And that one is looking for their identity. And they don't know where to find that. And what am I saying? We, as parents, play such a tremendous role in letting our children find at an early age out what is the I am inside of them. Now, the fine line between letting go and let your child just be who they're supposed to be, and then there's structure, because children need structure. So now it's so easy to say, it's much easier just to let go and say, there's the structure and this is what I think should happen and this is what I'm going to do. And when we start to look at them as a treasure that's in that little body, then we will start to think what we say before we say it. We may have to dig deep into our own hearts and think that child is not me. They may be coming from me, but they have a unique purpose. That child may be the one that's going to change so many lives. And maybe not. And it's also okay. Perhaps your child and my child, there may be a time that they just have to be the best at something very small. It looks like it's insignificant. But you see, there's nothing insignificant anyway. No one is insignificant, because everything fits together perfectly. And that will give us that absolute joy of looking at our children. Doesn't matter who comes out and who is the temperament. The one is maybe joyful, the other one is a bit more quiet, and the other one is a little bit more serious, and want to find we all think differently. And my heart today is to encourage you, if you are a parent or if you're walking in that place where you are going to become a parent, that is to say, your child and my children, they have that little I am inside of them. And if we can protect that, then we can actually help them not to have a fight to get it back one day. I told you many things out of my own life because that's what I want to talk about and that's what I base it on. That's my story. And, when you're in your story and you live it, you think, oh my goodness. Most of the time you think, what am I doing? Yeah. Because very often we don't know. We sometimes have to find out. And it's in the finding out that we establish who we are. It's in the finding out. If you look at a beautiful lion, I always think when I look at them and I think, who told you to do that? I looked through the window the other day and I saw this little bird. They're building a nest. And I was just like beyond me, and I thought, who on earth told you to do that? You're doing it perfectly. And they go. And the head is small, and I don't have the knowledge. Obviously, that's not my area of expertise at all. But when we stop and look at it and think that species everyone has a specific way of doing it, and instinctively they know exactly what to do. That bird instinctively know when they've got to spread the wings and fly. And how is it that there is so much order when we look at nature? But sometimes when we look at us, because we have these amazing brains and we figure things out, we start to control those around us, and we want to make them something perhaps that they shouldn't be. That bird knows exactly. Now, I'm not saying, how awesome it is that our children have that ability. We have the ability to figure things out. What I am saying is that if we can just let go sometimes and allow our children to be in touch with that which is inside of them. You give leading, and then you need to let them find out, because I do believe instinctively they start to pick up who they are. Sometimes when we just allow them to just be, let them get into something and feel themselves, Am I an artist? And it's good. Or am I good at dancing? Or am I going to be writing a book? Am I a business person? Am I going to make sure that everything I talk about is a deal that I've got to clinch? How does your child feel about themselves? Are they precious to us regardless, where they're at? When they're going through difficult moments, when they're making mistakes, are we allowing them to find out who the I am is? You see, because if we teach our children that there is an I am inside of you, your purpose, and you need to become silent sometimes and listen to it. Because just as that I just spoke about the lion, there comes a time when that lion's got to go out. And even whoever is in the wild, they've got to make it. You've got the pack and they're always together. But there comes a moment that they have to rely on the instinct that's inside of them. And very often, that is what we need to teach our children. To know who I am. Be sensitive to that. Be sensitive to speak to them in a manner that actually honors that factor in them. That honor makes people grow. When I just have a look at somebody and I think, wow, look at that. That person can do that so beautifully. And I show them that I appreciate that they're doing it well. That's a form of honor. And when we do that, that is the part of other people that starts to develop, that starts to grow. That is how you and I can play such a tremendous part in developing the purpose and the I am in our children. When we see it's coming out, sometimes we're going to have to sit back because we're going to know that, oops, there's a mistake coming. Am I going to just stop them before the mistake happens? Or am I just going to give a little bit of rope? Because you see, if I don't know the difference between my purpose and what is my purpose and what not, I'll never know. Somebody always tells us what needs to happen. How is that sort of instinctive feeling going to start to develop in our children? So, in a nutshell, what am I saying? Let's get to the place, first of all, to understand, who am I? Get back to the purpose. Honor that there is a purpose inside of us. Fight against that which is not supposed to be there. And then we need to know that there are other people. When we start to deal with them, and I first want to start with our children, when we look at our children from that angle, oh, they're so beautiful. You see them struggle here and there, and then you just think, oh, okay, I need to just be quiet now, because he's got to find it out. You know he's going to be safe, because you see instinctively, he's going to know. It's like touching that thing that's going to burn you, okay? Just let him touch it a little bit and know, oopsie. So it's a finding out. It's a rhythm that we want to build. And I want to encourage you to love them for that rhythm in them. When they do that great thing, when they've got to make that decision sometimes, don't make it for them. Because let the I am inside of them start to come to you and trust you and tell you, listen, this is what I want to do. What do you think? And then you give them direction. But let them find out, there I am. They are not us. They are some part of us, and we love them to bits, but they're not us. They have to go out there and have the strength to live what they have actually been placed here. They've got their own fingerprint. They have got their own beautiful eyes. They've got their own beautiful smile. And they've got their own quirks. And it's up to us to let them know that it is okay. And regardless if you're going to make a mistake, I will still love you. And we're still getting on, and we're still going to change that mistake. And I'm still going to go back to purpose. Because if we live, you and I, as parents, knowing there's an I am factor in that beautiful child of yours, can you imagine? Because they see in your eyes the acceptance or the rejection. So I want to encourage you in this time that's lying ahead, as you may be on the journey for yourself and you're writing your own story. Remember that our children, when they write their stories, that is where our legacy lies. And I want to encourage you to do that to the best of your ability and enjoy the uniqueness of your children. They are beautiful, and they need to know it from you and I. Well, it was stunning again to be with you today. I'm looking forward to next week, Friday. I just want to mention that if you want to send anything in, send it to info@mishkia.com. If you want to make any comments, you want to ask me anything, you can send us an email to info@mishkia.com, and I will talk about that in the weeks to come. Until next time, goodbye.